Thank you. I'm Mitch Leventhal, Vice Chancellor for Global Affairs at the State University of New York. I'm pleased to be with you this morning. As you know, our campuses and our students are at the heart and soul of the State University of New York. So we asked each campus to show us what makes them special, what makes the campus tick. In other words, what is their SUNY advantage? You're about to see the answer. We think it's the start of something big.
Come on, let's go. Let everybody know this is the start of something big. It's a new day, nothing in our way. This is the start of something big. Come on, let's go. Let everybody know this is the start of something big. It's a new day, nothing in our way. It's time to start.
Wasn't that pretty fun? Obviously, the SUNY advantage is that we have so many choices, opportunities, and options right at our fingertips. My name is Caitlin Beechner, and I am the president of the SUNY Student Assembly. The State University of New York does and has meant a lot to me. Hopefully soon, with 2 degrees, I am currently a graduate student seeking a master's degree in higher education and student affairs administration at Buffalo State College, and I'm also a very proud alumni of SUNY Potsdam. Amongst the plethora of statewide leadership opportunities, I'm a member of the SUNY Board of Trustees and the Chancellor's Executive Cabinet. I understand and live the SUNY advantage firsthand. From this distinguished audience, I want to particularly recognize the Executive Committee of the SUNY Student Assembly, my amazing team. Will you all please stand? Members of the SUNY Board of Trustees, let me say that this is a very hardworking and hard-thinking group that I'm very honored to be a part of. Will all of our SUNY Board of Trustees please stand? After graduation this spring, I plan to begin a career in higher education and student affairs administration. One of my many goals is to become a college president someday. I especially want to say how critical all of our college presidents are for students like me, for our communities, and for the future of our New York. So please, will all of our SUNY presidents here today stand and let us thank you? And thank you to all of our elected officials who fight so hard for our university and for students like me every day. Elected officials, will you please stand? At this particular moment, I am a 25-year-old college student who's really excited and maybe a little bit nervous to be standing at this podium underneath all of these lights in front of you today. But since I'm here, I would like to tell you all my Power of SUNY story. I'm the average New Yorker. I grew up in a suburb of Rochester, and being a middle child, I've seen the success that my older brother had at Monroe Community College. So I decided to venture to SUNY and earn a quality education at an affordable price. Over the course of my 4 years at SUNY Potsdam, I never, ever regretted my decision to go to SUNY. At 18, I was only sure of one thing. I wanted a degree. The longer I was on campus, the longer that I was on campus, I learned more about myself. I was able to be a student in small classes, making it so that all of my faculty honestly became my friends and ensuring that I had a handcrafted education. I was able to supplement the cost of my education by being a resident assistant and living in the dorms for 2 years. And as a history and anthropology major, focusing on ancient history, I was able to have an opportunity of a lifetime by studying abroad in Italy. I was invited to present anthropology research at a regional conference, and I was also elected to serve as the president of the student government at Potsdam. Through that position, I was not only able to network with the faculty and staff of Potsdam, but I was able to represent the students of Potsdam locally and state levels and also national levels. After graduation, my SUNY story actually only just continued. I was hired by a Fortune 500 company about a month after I graduated, and my first interview was actually done with a supervisor who was a graduate of Brockport. After starting my first position, I was amazed at how many workers in this company were actually SUNY graduates. We all had a commonality. We all knew firsthand what the SUNY advantage really is. After 2 years, I decided that it was time to follow my heart back to SUNY. When deciding on my future, I reflected on my past. For the 4 years that I had had in SUNY beforehand, they had ensured that I had developed into the person that I was meant to be. SUNY had helped me discover what my true dreams really were. At Buffalo State College, I am learning how to become a student affairs professional that empowers our students and impacts their lives. My role models are those professionals that took me under their wing in my undergraduate years and those who helped me throughout my graduate degree make sure that my entire degree was a positive and holistic experience. In the past 7 months, as the president of the Student Assembly, I've had the opportunity to get to know our university system and its leaders. The opportunities that I've been able to have for leadership growth and professional development have been countless. Because of SUNY, I am confident that I will go into the world and be the change that I wish to see. The quality education, the inside and outside of the classroom learning experiences, the leadership opportunities, the personalized attention and mentorship that I've received throughout all 6 years in SUNY, and the wonderful memories I have that were created because of SUNY have shaped me into a successful, competent professional who cannot wait to show my future employer that I know what the SUNY advantage truly is. I'm honored to introduce to you all the chairman of the State University of New York Board of Trustees, Chairman H. Carl McCall. Chairman McCall has brought a renewed sense of engagement to our SUNY board. His long history of public service is impressive. He's served as a state senator, an ambassador to the United Nations, commissioner of the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, commissioner of the New York State Division of Human Rights, president of the New York City Board of Education, chairman of the Public Higher Education Conference Board, and comptroller to the state of New York. He's been a trustee of our state university since 2007. And on a personal note, Chairman, I am honored to be a member of your board and to have the opportunity to learn from such a dedicated and committed public servant Ladies and gentlemen, Chairman Carl McCall.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's what SUNY's all about. Thank you very much, Caitlin. That's what SUNY's all about. When Caitlin read my resume and mentioned the things that I've done in the past, that was supposed to impress you. But sometimes people aren't impressed. I spoke at a high school out in Brooklyn recently, and the principal introduced me, and she did the same thing. I used to be an ambassador. I used to be a senator. I used to be a teacher. I used to be a commissioner. And she went through the list, and a little girl in the back put her hand up, and she said, "What's the matter, mister? Couldn't you keep a job?" Good morning. On behalf of the State University of New York Board of Trustees, it's my pleasure to welcome all of you to the 2012 State of the University Address. This is the second time that SUNY has stood before you to showcase a year and to look ahead to future goals. I want to begin today by thanking my colleagues on the Board of Trustees for their service and their dedication to this university system. This talented group of individuals gives their time and expertise to move our institution to greater heights of excellence, and we are seeing real change from their efforts. In a few moments, you will hear from the Chancellor about the incredibly transformative 2011 year. But more important, she will give us a glimpse of the path that SUNY will follow as we go forward. This year was marked by significant partnerships, historic legislation, and economic development, and the faculty, staff, and students of SUNY were key advocates in every major policy decision that was made. And so, SUNY finds itself at a critical point. We're making great changes and have accomplished much, but in moving forward, accountability is essential to meeting our goals. We are fortunate to have a governor and a group of talented, inspired legislators who understand what we're doing and who will continue to support us by giving SUNY opportunities to help shape New York. I've served on the SUNY Board of Trustees since 2007, and when Governor Cuomo appointed me as chairman of the board in October, I outlined several priorities. The first is to continue to make SUNY a first-class educational institution for our students. And the second is to make sure that it continues to be affordable to our students. I'm proud to say that the Chancellor and I share this vision. And so many of this year's accomplishments have brought us closer to making it a reality. We have shown real results, and that is what we pledge to continue, to be accountable to our stakeholders and keep faith with the public trust. As leaders of the largest comprehensive system of higher education in the country, we are committed to transparency and to ensuring that our constituents know how and where their public dollars are being spent at SUNY. We are committed to giving a high return on their hard-earned investments, efficiency, performance, results. These are not options, they are the requirements of our role at SUNY. And there is no one who embodies accountability and the courage of her convictions more than the 12th Chancellor of the State University of New York, Nancy L. Zimpher. Indeed, accountability has been the watchword of Chancellor Zimpher's tenure since she first took the helm at SUNY in 2009. She brought with her a well-earned reputation as an agent of change. She impressed me and my fellow members of the SUNY's Board of Trustees as an administrator with visionary ideas who possess the talent and drive to realize those ideas. She has more than delivered on these ideas. In short order, Chancellor Zimpher led the creation and implementation of the Power of SUNY, a bold 5-year strategic plan designed to harness the potential of this university system to drive our state's economic resurgence. The plan came to fruition this year with innovative partnerships with government and the private sector that will enhance the educational experience of SUNY students and grow jobs throughout this state. Chancellor Zimpher has made dramatic strides toward bringing fiscal stability to a system hit hard by economic crisis, successfully bringing rational, predictable tuition to SUNY. And she has set a standard for accountability, not just for SUNY, but for the higher education enterprise nationwide with the establishment of the annual SUNY report card that is tracking SUNY's progress across a broad spectrum of critical areas, from academic performance to economic impact to energy consumption and beyond. It's a rare leader who invites such a degree of scrutiny. But what some would call courage, this chancellor would deem basic accountabilities. It's this forthright quality that makes Nancy L. Zimpher worthy of New York's respect, admiration, and trust. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to present the Chancellor of the State University of New York, Nancy L. Zimpher.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Well, good morning. Here we go. I, of course, want to begin by thanking our chair, Carl McCall. Many of you know Carl much longer and better than I have known him, but it has certainly been my privilege to have Mr. McCall as a trustee and now as chairman of our board. I think you all know that Carl is a tireless advocate for SUNY and, of course, always has been for the people of New York. So it is very much our privilege indeed to have you as our chair, Carl McCall. Thank you very, very much. So I welcome our trustees and so glad to have several of you present supporting our work, members of the state legislature and the colleagues that you represent, Mayor Jennings, our SUNY presidents, our students, our faculty, our staff, distinguished guests, and fellow New Yorkers. It is my privilege as well to welcome you to the 2012 State of the University Address. Of course, it feels just like yesterday that we were here talking about, speculating about SUNY in 2011, and now, in a mere blink of the eye, I can tell you to talk about SUNY in 2012. I believe 2012 will be even better than 2011. I'm optimistic for many reasons, of course, but especially because of the quality and the spirit of our SUNY students. You are our thinkers and our dreamers, and fortunately for all of us, you are led by none other than our very own Caitlin Beechner. Caitlin, of course, this morning Caitlin said, I love to speak. I really am so privileged, and we gotta love that enthusiasm and that commitment. Caitlin brings leadership skills to the table, and quite frankly, serves as a role model not only for our SUNY students, but for students around the country. So I personally very much appreciate your efforts, as we all do. And of course, I'm optimistic because SUNY has finally found its champion. Governor Andrew Cuomo believes in SUNY's unlimited potential. He believes in our unique ability to serve, to drive the future of our great state. He believes in our responsibility to help each and every New Yorker attain a better quality of life. In fact, he often refers to SUNY as a precious New York asset, the great equalizer of the middle class, he says, and certainly as centers of excellence, innovation, and job creation. All ambitions that we hold in common. As we all know, Governor Cuomo's biggest challenge is creating jobs that will move the dial for New York's economy, and he has clearly chosen to do so in partnership with SUNY. Governor Cuomo is not alone in taking on this challenge. Our 467,000 students, our 88,000 employees, our 20,000 committed retirees, and 3 million alumni stand ready, and we are grateful to the Governor, and we thank you, Governor, for your leadership, your support, and your commitment to SUNY. So today, Governor, and we're all listening, we will tell you exactly how we intend to help you help New York reassert its historic greatness and its equally promising future. So just when you think you've heard the last of Jim Collins, and he's one of my favorites, I'm bringing him back because I want to share with you one of Collins's central tenets that is guiding our work today. In Good to Great and the Social Sector, he writes this: "We must reject the idea, well-intentioned but dead wrong, that the primary path to greatness in the social sectors is to become more like a business. Most businesses, like most anything else in life, fall somewhere between mediocre and good. Few are great. Most businesses also have a desperate need for discipline. Disciplined people who engage in disciplined thought and who take disciplined actions. A culture of discipline," Collins says, "is not a principle of business. It is a principle of greatness." We must all, individually, as campuses, as a system, and as a state, become more disciplined in our work if we are truly to achieve greatness. We must get down to business, not just by setting goals, but by measuring them and holding ourselves accountable for meeting them. But in 2011, we started down this disciplined path, showing how our campuses are making a name for themselves. Finger Lakes Community College received the first grant of any community college in the country from the National Science Foundation. And Binghamton sheltered and fed more than 1,800 evacuees after Hurricanes Irene and Lee. UAlbany's Nano College attracted $4.4 billion in investment from 5 leading technology companies to create the next generation of computer chip technology. Cayuga Community College's nursing program, class of 2011, achieved a 100% passing rate in their licensure exam and also achieved a 100% placement rate. Stony Brook accepted the largest gift in SUNY history, $150 million from Jim and Marilyn Simons and the Simons Foundation, and UB received a $40 million request, both to elevate NY SUNY 2020. A $3.7 million grant from the National Institutes of Health was awarded to SUNY Reach, a collaborative research network of our 4 academic health centers and the College of Optometry, in this case to support research into blindness in premature infants. And Oswego launched the system's first multiple major co-op program, giving students an opportunity to obtain full-time work following graduation. I could go on, and you know this, about the amazing aspects of our campuses accomplished in 2011, but instead, as is our way today, I will direct you to our website, SUNY.edu, where Generation SUNY tells our story through the power of social media. And with our new SUNY blog, our campuses can now directly share their stories with an audience as big as the globe. But you don't have to take our word for it, or from our blog for that matter. Other people are helping us tell our story. Kiplinger's ranked SUNY campuses 2nd and 3rd for best value in public colleges for out-of-state students. Forbes magazine ranked 4 SUNY campuses as best public colleges and best college buys. U.S. News ranked 7 SUNY campuses in the top 25 public universities in the North. GI Jobs magazine named 23 SUNY campuses as military-friendly. The Princeton Review included 3 SUNY campuses in its list of best college values, one of which is ranked 4th in the nation, and 2 of our campuses are members of the prestigious Association of American Universities. These successes, of course, largely emanate from our strategic plan, the power of SUNY, and our annual report card citing our progress in meeting our ambitious big ideas. Of course, you'd expect We monitor the usual metrics like admissions and retention, graduation rates, research expenditures, faculty accolades, all of which are progressing favorably. But we are also attempting a measure unique to all of higher education. We are measuring our social impact. The creation of green jobs, workforce expansion, preparing more doctors for high-need populations, sealing the leaks in the education pipeline, and reducing our carbon footprint. So we are squarely in the business of articulating achievable and realistic goals, goals that extend SUNY's capacity to help New York State, goals for which traditional measures exist, and those that require new metrics, and quite frankly, goals that require a new way of doing business for SUNY. Not just 64 campuses doing their very best every day in every way, but putting SUNY's capacity to work in ways that require a big paradigm shift toward a concept that can't yet be looked up in Webster's dictionary or searched on Wikipedia. The concept, in a word, is systemness. That's right, systemness. We actually have made up this word, but if Stephen Colbert can do it with truthiness, so can we. So what does systemness mean? What is it? Well, our definition, systemness is the coordination of multiple components that, when working together, create a network of activity that is more powerful than any action of individual parts on their own. So for a university like SUNY, that means bringing together and orchestrating our system of stakeholders: students, faculty, staff, boards, councils, campuses, institutes, the centers, a list that could go on, in such a way as to deliver on our goals and realize our mission beyond what we've ever been able to achieve before. How else could we claim that SUNY is that perfect engine to drive economic revitalization and improve the quality of life of all New Yorkers? In short, systemness. In systemness, there is great strength. Granted, each of our 64 schools has a special identity and character, but systemness is about our great desire to nurture that individuality while also cultivating a new collective power that really can deliver for New Yorkers. That's what it's all about. There's a lot to say, as you can tell, about systemness, and we will do so at our second annual SUNY conference, operating for a national agenda on this very topic. So don't forget, you heard it here first, and until then, you can see how we arrived at the concept of systemness by looking at the work we are already doing. For instance, we are already achieving systemness through our approach to transfer and student mobility, helping our students earn their degrees on time and getting them out into the world to start their careers. Our mobility site is now up and running with lots of transfer tools for students. Not only can our students transfer gen ed courses between campuses, they can now also transfer 12 or more credits in over 50 majors. There are only a handful of states in the country where this is true. And we aren't done yet. Thanks to the commitment of our University Faculty Senate President, Ken O'Brien, in our house today, and our Faculty Council Community Colleges President, Tina Good, also here, both trustees, we will now tackle together the complete transfer of a SUNY AA or AS degree to satisfy gen ed requirements at a SUNY four-year institution. And get this. Through the grant, New York One, in Race to the Top, we will now create a data system for students that tracks all their earned college credits from high school through graduate work. An easy-to-use tool like this will make it clear to students every step of the way the courses they need to complete their degree. This is not only a breakthrough for SUNY, it is a breakthrough for students across the state because it will create a roadmap for college completion. This is systemness at work. Together, we've also started to seal the leaks in New York's education pipeline. With Cradle to Career networks using the National Strive framework, we are pooling our resources to systemically drive educational reform by helping communities rebuild their civic infrastructure to support every child from cradle to career. Civic infrastructure is not a program, but a way in which a community can organize itself to use existing resources to invest in what gets results for students. These discussions are well underway in Rochester, in Albany, and through Harlem's Abyssinian Development Corporation. And just last month, we announced the beginnings of a first-ever rural Strive-like education partnership in Clinton County. And with the generous support of the governor and the Gates Foundation, SUNY is also providing the leadership for a network of 23 Smart Scholars early college high schools. This is not your basic AP pathway. This is providing college-level opportunities for students most people assume will never go to college. After just 1 year, 3,500 students are enrolled, and 98% of them are on track to graduate high school prepared for college. And SUNY is also now home to the Empire State STEM Learning Network with the support of the Battelle Memorial Institute. This partnership is all about preparing and supporting teachers to deliver high-quality STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, especially to underserved populations. And we've also made an unprecedented commitment to bringing co-op education to scale. Our SUNY Works program will place our students in paid internship settings with the emphasis on companies and organizations that make New York work. So, in a word, co-op presents a win-win for everyone involved. While engaged in college coursework, students are placed in paid internships, which can significantly offset the cost of their college education. Faculty and employers have the reciprocal advantage of learning from each other. Employers have an opportunity to engage young thinkers and doers, evaluating and mentoring them in a supportive environment, and 90% of all of those who serve in co-ops get job offers from one or more of their co-op employers, and that's the state benefit from these companies that hire our own students to stay, live, and work in New York. Ladies and gentlemen, that's co-op to scale. So, in recounting how we're already putting systemness to work, I must include the crowning achievement of 2011, which is the passage of the historic SUNY 2020 legislation, orchestrated by Governor Cuomo with unprecedented legislative support. We now have a fair, predictable, and responsible 5-year tuition policy for the next generation of learners with which we can protect our students, their families, and our campuses from the unpredictable tuition increases of the past. Combine that with a new commitment to maintain the state's investment in SUNY called Maintenance of Effort, and an additional investment in SUNY's research campuses open to all our campuses this coming year, and we are confident we have found the best insurance policy for New York to realize a great return on its investment in SUNY. But as you know, new revenue means new responsibility. We must be good stewards of those funds, both for the state and for our students. In December, I visited the White House along with a small group of higher education leaders to meet with President Obama and Secretary of Education Arne Duncan to talk about controlling the cost of a college education. While there, Secretary Duncan framed the conversation with what is formidably called the Iron Triangle of higher education: cost, productivity, and access and completion. He talked about how these three ideals often conflict with one another on a college campus. But he also talked about how they don't need to. At the Federal Student Aid Conference in Las Vegas, he said that in the era of the knowledge economy, the urgency of controlling college costs is not at odds with the urgency of increasing college attainment. Both goals are necessary if society is to do all it can to help more Americans succeed and thrive in the global market. We couldn't agree more. When it comes to SUNY's Iron Triangle, we will do all we can in the coming year with tremendous discipline to break the mold. Again, as Collins requires, disciplined planning, disciplined people, disciplined governance, and disciplined allocation of resources. So let's take a hard look at the three walls of this Iron Triangle and how our commitment to discipline will bolster our efforts. First, around cost. One of the ways we have started to approach this is through shared services. While SUNY relentlessly pursues benchmarks that are universal to other systems, we can find no national metric for the dominant driver of SUNY's shared services initiative. That is, shifting the savings from administrative cost reductions to a greater investment in student services. Hiring more full-time faculty, adding more courses that contribute to degree completion, adding more academic advisors, all components of our plan to see more students degree ready and graduating on time. So our new SUNY Campus Alliance networks are cost-saving collaborations of administrative functions between campuses. And their one goal is to expand academic resources and course availability for students while increasing efficiency and building the strongest SUNY possible. The partnership between Delhi and Cobleskill is a perfect example of how shared services can work and work well. Seemingly overnight, the two campuses created a new structure, worked together to drive savings, and are making it work. It hasn't been easy, and I want to thank colleagues in the room today from both campuses who are realizing the benefits of sharing administrative services and working tirelessly to implement those changes. Make no mistake, we will shift the balance between what we spend on administration versus academic and student support. To ensure this next step, in 2012, we will develop regional administrative centers that will centrally process payroll, benefits, purchasing, travel, and other basic administrative services. Further, we are working diligently with New York State's Office of Government Services to implement strategic sourcing, looking for cost savings not only across SUNY, but across all of New York's state agencies, together ensuring that the price of doing important government work is less costly. And over the next 3 years, all SUNY campuses will shift at a minimum 5% of their administrative spending to academics and student services. That means shifting $100 million from administrative cost savings to increase our academic and instructional support. But this isn't just about our campuses. SUNY administration is digging deep into our bottom line and sharing costs in areas like public safety, printing, and media and technology services with adjacent campuses in the Capital District and across our New York City offices. Shared services will be a huge help in moving the dial on efficiency, but we must also commit ourselves to a new resource allocation system. In other words, we must encourage disciplined decision-making through performance-based allocations. Resources are not inexhaustible. In fact, SUNY's budget has been cut by $1.4 billion over the past four years, so it is absolutely critical that we use our resources to achieve the results we want. And this fits precisely with what Governor Cuomo is asking of all New Yorkers. We are prepared to drive change across SUNY and to be an example for the rest of the state on how to make it happen. Currently, our funding model is based on the number of students enrolled and the cost of programs at each campus. With performance-based allocations, we might, for instance, take 5% of the overall SUNY budget and rather than allocate it directly to the campuses, instead allocate it to the campuses based on indicators like graduation rates or a diversity index. And we'll make these decisions using the system-wide metrics of the SUNY report card. To manage this new process, we are launching the Finance and Administration Strategy Team, or as we call it, FAST, made up of campus presidents, business officers, and faculty leadership. FAST's initial charge will be to determine a pilot program for 2012-13, tracking metrics as if performance-based allocation had already begun. We will look specifically at business and accounting practices, investments and expenditures, and promising practices that will enable our campuses to manage enrollments, increase support for instruction and research, and then move the dial upwards on our 6 strategic goals of the power of SUNY. We'll learn from that experience, and in 2013-14, campuses will see these allocations reflected in your operating budgets. Like all of these more disciplined approaches to getting down to business, team members will provide regular updates to our campus leaders and the Board of Trustees to drive change within our operations. But while using our resources more efficiently and more wisely is critical to achieving cost savings, we will never be able to realize our full potential until we overcome other obstacles in our way. As we embark on shared services, campus presidents and business officers have proposed several opportunities for regional or statewide savings. These suggestions improve efficiency in areas such as payroll, billing, procurement, MWBE, financial aid, environmental safety, and employee benefits, just to name a few. But the greatest opportunity by far is in information technology. We cannot make progress unless we can efficiently measure our results and effectively share data among campuses and across the system, and refine our practices and increase our performance. Over the last few decades, the devolution of our system has led to every campus having the freedom to choose its own path for IT resources. The result is a hodgepodge network across the SUNY system that can barely communicate and adds huge cost to every system-wide effort we make in IT. Further, this cacophony makes it difficult to work effectively with other key partners in the state, whether that's other higher education institutions, our K-12 partners, or relevant state agencies. We can do better than that, and we will. So today, SUNY's IT transformation team is receiving a new charge: systems integration. They will fix the system's systems. By summer of 2013, plans will be in place to move all SUNY campuses to common data systems, and by summer 2014, these systems will be implemented. Take a deep breath. The second wall of the so-called iron triangle we must break through is productivity. As you know, in the Power of SUNY, our strategic plan, we have some very special 6 big ideas. Each of the big ideas, the entrepreneurial century, the seamless education pipeline, a healthier New York, an energy-smart New York, the vibrant community, and the world, each has its own set of what we call, and what Jim Collins calls, a big, hairy, audacious goal. But how do we track these goals? How do we know we are moving the dial on these critical issues for New York? That is precisely why we have created the SUNY report card. In the coming year, we will take the report card from a statement about accountability, the "you can hold us to it" promise, to a testament to progress and a tool for improvement. Let me explain this step in 2 parts. To begin, as we are investing SUNY resources and looking to external support as well, in a discrete set of measurable actions, we will assess the impact of those actions by the data collected in our report card. For example, the power of SUNY has promised to lead the way in creating green technologies. So let us then watch by the numbers exactly how much related research activity SUNY faculty members are engaged in. Turn to page 36 of our most recent report card, and there's the answer: $42 million in research investment. If you want to see how SUNY is measuring up in graduation and retention rates, turn to page 6, and you can chart our progress on these graphs. Or if you want to know about research expenditures, or library circulation, or grants won, or information on our diversity profile, it's all there in our SUNY report card. Let me use our commitment to research and innovation as another example. The entrepreneurial century portion of the power of SUNY can be boiled down to 3 commitments. We want to connect academia to entrepreneurs, we want to increase external funding for our research enterprise, and we want to grow new companies and new jobs out of our labs. That's a tall order. How do we intend to do this? Well, for a start, in 2012, we will announce programs to encourage entrepreneurial thinking and intra-campus research initiatives, programs that bring our best innovations to market to improve lives and create new businesses for New York. And in the future, you'll know how effective these programs are because we will tell you in our report card precisely how many entrepreneurs we train, how many external research dollars we win, and how many businesses we grow. Across our 6 big ideas, this adds up to serious economic revitalization and enhances the quality of life for all New Yorkers. Another hurdle to productivity is the out-of-control need for remediation for incoming students. Remedial education, that is, taking classes in college to achieve skills that should have been mastered in high school, is one of the biggest challenges to college success nationally. SUNY spends over $70 million a year in remediation, most of this expense incurred at our community colleges. Just to give you a sense of what $70 million means, our entire ag tech sector only receives $63.6 million in state support. This means for SUNY students alone, the state is spending more on remediating its high school students than it is in supporting 8 entire college campuses. Today, I want to be clear that SUNY's goal is not only to reduce remediation, not only to be more effective in delivering remedial education, but to end the need for remediation in our lifetime. Now, we can't possibly do this alone, but rather with our partners in early childhood and K-12 all working together, we can end the need for remediation on college campuses, I believe, in the next decade. This is why I so often repeat the theory of supply and demand. SUNY prepares the teachers who teach the students who come to college, ready or not. Therefore, we must share responsibility with all educators across the state to ensure that all of New York students graduate high school, college, and career ready. And that is exactly why we are investing in fixing the education pipeline. That is why we are encouraging the creation of STEM-like networks in New York communities. That is why we have taken on the Empire State STEM Learning Network. And it is why we have partnered to establish Smart Scholars early college high schools. Because every student deserves a chance to succeed in college. And when they arrive, colleges should be able to focus on preparing them for their futures, not spending time repairing their pasts. And so I invite K-12 leaders throughout the state to partner with us in eliminating the need for remediation, in sealing the leaks in the education pipeline. Together, with new approaches and renewed discipline, we can, in time, eliminate remediation. We're delivering on our promises, we're eliminating waste, but how are we ensuring that we produce what we need? The answer, strategic enrollment management. Like the impetus behind our efforts in student mobility, we believe strategic enrollment management is the key to ensuring that students have access to their programs and courses they need to graduate prepared to work in the competitive, global, 21st century job market. By using the type of analysis that can be found in the 2011 How SUNY Matters Economic Impact Report, we will ensure that what we offer meets New York's needs, providing a strong workforce and helping to ensure jobs for our graduates. In 2012, SUNY will achieve comprehensive strategic enrollment management in two ways. First, we will use labor statistics to calculate sector demand from businesses and the social sector, and by region, for a qualified workforce. Then second, we will focus on our individual campuses or clusters of campuses to adjust program offerings and enrollment patterns to meet these sector demands. We will invest in our campuses to start or expand programs identified by the state as high-need fields like nursing, nanotechnology, and information technology, and we'll roll these priorities into our performance-based allocation model, holding not only the system, but our individual campuses responsible for delivering on this promise as well. Now, I know some of you are going to hear this as no more English courses, no more history courses. On the contrary, business and industry repeatedly tell us that they want more graduates who are good communicators, creative problem solvers, and also smart, well-educated, and professionally skilled. Holding this vision steady, we have a duty to focus on the future needs of the state and the citizenry that we serve, and we can and will make that happen with academic integrity as our top priority. So, perhaps with some relief on your part, I come to the third and final wall of the Iron Triangle. We must break through, and that's access and completion. For many New Yorkers, it all starts at one of SUNY's 30 community colleges. An open gateway for opportunity, SUNY community colleges offer New Yorkers the chance to learn more, to get a head start in their careers, or to reinvent themselves for the next chapter in their lives. And we're proud of our students who graduate with AA or AS degrees in fields that often put them to work ahead of the curve. Unfortunately, it is not always seamless if these graduates encounter transfer problems at our four-year campuses. We think these students should get a fair start, and so while our community colleges also provide open access, we must do our part to ensure students can complete the two-year degrees, and if they wish, complete a four-year degree without losing or duplicating credits. By fall 2013, we will close the loop on seamless transfer for our community colleges. As I've said, this means an AA or AS degree from a SUNY community college will satisfy gen ed requirements at our four-year institutions, and we can do this because we are a system. And our seamlessness will help us take transfer to scale. We will also ensure access by developing a truly open path to accessing SUNY. Hatched as part of our big idea around SUNY and the world, Open SUNY means great access to the best of SUNY online, from anywhere, here and abroad. Open SUNY has the potential to be the nation's most extensive distance learning environment. It will provide innovative and flexible education. It will network students with faculty and peers from across the state and throughout the world and link them to the best in open educational resources. Many other colleges and universities have adopted concepts of open learning. They've taken their best quality lectures and resources and put them on the web for all to see and gain from. But as a system, we can do even better. We have the strength and the discipline and the vision to bring this concept to scale like no other college, university, or system can do. We will do this through a combination of online courses, an expanded YouTube channel, a newly created presence on iTunes U, and we will look to our campuses already deeply invested in online learning, to an expansion of the SUNY Learning Network, and to the role of Empire State College in certifying prior work and learning experiences to create SUNY's online university. And we will launch this online university we affectionately call Open SUNY by fall semester 2013. And now, the final goal I will present to you today around completion. SUNY has always been committed to access, and rightfully so. As New York's public university system, we have proudly provided for decades the opportunity for any and all New Yorkers to improve their quality of life through furthering their education. We have done so affordably and with great commitment to quality. But access is only half the battle. The other half is completion. And everything we've talked about today gets us one step closer to ensuring that every student who walks through our doors leaves on time with a degree, with the knowledge and the tools they need to succeed in hand. So, this, more than anywhere, is where the right level of discipline across our ranks and holding ourselves accountable will make the difference. This year, each campus is going to set targets to improve its completion rates. And once the presidents have agreed on these targets, we will include these benchmarks in the presidential evaluations of our state-operated campuses, and I assume with the full cooperation of our community colleges to make completion universal at SUNY. Because for far too long we have left the front door open to our house without paying adequate attention to college completion and future success. Today, completion becomes SUNY's #1 priority. And if somebody can say it better, let me know, because my favorite quote still comes from the New York Times columnist David Leonhardt. Educating more people and educating them better is simply the best bet any society can make. So I want to come back to Jim Collins one last time. Greatness, he tells us, is not a function of circumstance. Greatness, it turns out, is largely a matter of conscious choice and discipline. As a system, we must make the choice to be more disciplined and also be more disciplined in our choices. This is how we will resolve the conflicting sides of the Iron Triangle. It is how we will meet the governor's challenge to do better for New York and build the best New York. This is not a question of tinkering around the edges, as Governor Cuomo says. We have fundamentally to reimagine how government operates. So today, we have imagined a new, more disciplined SUNY, one that understands and embraces the work we must do. Control costs through shared services, performance-based allocations, and systems integration. Increase productivity by tracking and measuring our progress with report cards, eliminating academic remediation, and implementing strategic enrollment management. And we will ensure greater access and degree completion by perfecting transfer mobility, expanding and enhancing distance learning, and setting targets to improve completion rates. That's what we are doing here today. That is what we are doing together in the coming year, getting down to business. I should add that it falls to me as Chancellor to push the envelope and stretch our thinking and our ambitions. But clearly, This is the work of our key stakeholders, our campuses, and ultimately with the input and encouragement of our Board of Trustees. Getting down to business on behalf of the people of New York, SUNY students, their parents and grandparents, siblings and other relatives, our friends and supporters, our public policy makers, and of course the next generation of students who will not only benefit from SUNY, but give back much to the state of New York. So we're going to try this. Stand up if you attend or graduated from a SUNY school. Stand up if you have a relative at SUNY. Stand up if you work at SUNY. Yay! Stand up if you serve on a SUNY council or board or committee. Stand up because SUNY is your university. SUNY is your advantage. 2012 is our year. We are getting down to business, and that, folks, is the power of SUNY. Thank you.